Stories. We keep hearing stories of various accounts being hacked into, sensitive information being stolen. I think Mitt Romney, they got into his one of his old email accounts.
Old email accounts, yep.
Recently. This is Scott Schaefer from Blade Technologies. He's the guy we lean on for our technical advice. And when sending information out, you say do it piecemeal.
Right. There's a couple different ways you go, and we're talking sensitive information. Maybe for some reason you need to give somebody your social security number, some passwords, any sort of these things that you definitely don't want just send via email. So there's different ways you can do it. One way, as you mentioned, you can do it piecemeal. For example, you can call somebody and say, I'm going to text you the password for this account, and tell them account over the phone, and just send the password by itself in a text message. A hacker's not going to have context of what that is. So that's one really simple way to go about doing that.
Wow. So you really got to be careful these days because they're out there.
Absolutely. And some other things you can do is use some secure file sharing sites as well. A lot of free stuff out there. One thing I use is something called Dropbox, which is super duper popular. It works across all different platforms, PC, Macs, and so on. That's a good one. There's one called SkyDrive, Microsoft, and there's one called MediaFire. These happen to be the three that I use.
So what do you use to explain this Dropbox?
So yeah, the way the Dropbox would work, we'll just drop back here to Dropbox. We have all these different folders, right? And I can create a folder, and I can dig down in, you can see all the different stuff we're doing, but we can also share this folder, okay? And we could send an email and so on and so forth and say, okay, John, you have access to the folder called Deep Web Research that I'm doing. So that's one way you can share it. Not the most secure, but a whole lot better than attaching something and sending it on an email.
A good rule of thumb when changing all your passwords, it's maybe every
90 days. Yeah, unfortunately, especially since most people, and nobody lied to me, you're all using the same passwords for every account. And once you get that, one password, they're going to try all these different common accounts, Gmail, Yahoo, Facebook, and all these things, and get it. So really, to be smart, change them every 90 days. There's different sorts of password managers and things that you can get to help you organize all this. There's also, the longer the password, the better. Obviously, you don't have to put a bunch of crazy special characters. One thing I see people use a lot are song lyrics, like one stanza of a song, really long, which is good. Maybe it has a capital letter at the beginning, a comma in the middle. Okay, tough to break.
Yeah, one thing is you don't want to use like your kids' names or pet names and then go talk about them on Facebook or some of these other social websites because somebody says, hey, and they try it out.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And you have to remember, your password is your last and best defense for security on the internet.
There you go. Scott Schaefer, always a good guy to talk to when you're trying to keep up on what's going on in the cyber world. We appreciate it.
You got it, anytime.
Randy?
All right, thank you for that information.